Welcome back to the channel, guys, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any of my other content. But before we get started, I want to ask you guys this question. What's one thing many people need first thing in the morning to get going? That's right, it's a good cup of coffee. So today we're going to be looking at a new cat on the block in Violet Coffee Company. More specifically, their Asian Plateau Blend in a whole bean grind. Now, if you haven't heard of Violet Coffee Company before, it would make sense because, as I mentioned, they're new to the coffee industry. And if you know one thing about me, if it's new, if I've never had it, I have to buy it, I have to try it, and I have to let you all know whether or not it's worth your money. Now, this is a medium roast, and it doesn't really say much more on the packaging about what to expect for flavors. I've never heard of an Asian Plateau Blend, but I'm looking forward to it. If you guys do want to check them out at violetcoffeeco.com, they have a whole bunch of different varieties, different flavors, from like mint to Mexican chocolate to your traditional blends as well. And you can get them in pre-grinded or whole bean form. I did prefer whole bean form for this because to me, when you grind the beans yourself, I always feel like you get a fresher cup of coffee. But let's start doing our usual smell test. Let's see what we get from this. Now, overall, it has such a nice aroma. And that's one thing I look forward to with coffee is the aroma, because coffee in itself isn't just an energy boost, but it's sometimes an experience with that really good cup of coffee. I love going to cafes and little coffee shops and trying their blends. And this does mention it is a medium roast. So I do usually like my roast a little darker, a little bolder, but sometimes a good medium roast really hits the spot. It is 1:15 in the afternoon as I'm recording this, so I don't think I really need that bold flavor. I like that bold flavor more or less first thing in the morning because it gives you that little extra jolt, I think. But this smells delectable. And like I said, I don't really know what Asian Plateau is, but lo and behold, well, we're going to find out. So let's take those sips. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know what it is, but I do like it. Just, as you can see, I keep going back to it. The whole thing is, it's not overpowering in flavor. It's not super bold, but the flavor complexion is just delicious in a weird way. And it's weird to say coffee is this, but this is refreshing. This would make a great iced coffee in itself. But hot, I could see myself drinking this all the time. I did also buy a Mexican chocolate blend, which I'm looking forward to trying as well. It hasn't arrived yet. But for what it's worth, this Asian Plateau Blend, as much of it's a question mark as to what it's supposed to be, aside from a medium roast, in terms of flavor and like hints of things, it is delicious. It has a flavor, but as I mentioned, it's not overpowering. It just really hits the spot. So I don't put anything in my coffee. I drink my coffee black, so this is literally just straight coffee. And for it being freshly brewed from like grinding up the beans myself, and as long as you don't, over put the amount of coffee in the pot, and you add the right amount of water, and you brew it, to par. This it's a coffee that I could see myself drinking at any time of the day because, as I mentioned, it just really hits the spot. It's flavorful. It's not overpowering. As I mentioned, oddly refreshing. Like I said, if you guys are iced coffee fans, I would recommend brewing this up as an iced coffee, but it's perfectly hot for me, or perfect hot for myself, because that's how I prefer it. That was a little bit of a tongue twister trying to get those ideas out. But yeah, I mean, for this being the first coffee I'm trying from Violet Coffee Company, I definitely recommend you guys check out their website. This was a very delicious blend. And as I mentioned earlier, they have a whole bunch of different flavors. They have pre-grinded, whole bean, even K-cups for people, who use their Keurig more often. And I'm really wishing them well in their future just because this is one of the more delicious cups of coffees I've had recently, because everything just kind of blends together nicely and the flavor just adds to the experience. It smells great. You smell like you're in a cafe when brewing this up. The flavor is perfectly there. And, they're getting 2 thumbs up from me, and I would definitely recommend this to anyone. Check them out, guys. As I mentioned, violetcoffeeco.com. If you've had them before, if you're jumping on the bandwagon early like I am, what's your favorite variety? What do you think about them? Would you recommend them to a friend? Because I know I would. Until next time, guys. See ya. Bye.